All right, so Questrade finally released the year-end statement. So I'm going to go look at my return for the year based on their calculations. So obviously under Questrade, you'd go under accounts, not under trade, but under accounts. So over here, you click on accounts, you go to reports, and then you go to statements. Then you pick the account that you want. So let's start off with the TFSA. I'm very sure I'm going to have really bad numbers. I already know it, but let's just check it out. So then you take the last month's statement here, December. Make sure you're under 2018 here. By default, it's going to bring you to 2019. So just click here to go to 2018. Then December, click view, click on monthly, going to download, then open it. All right, so you can see last month's balance alone was 63.58, and this month is 55.46. So just from November to December, I had a huge drop. So now if we go lower, now there's several ways. There's several ways to get the return. First of all, they have their own calculation here, somewhere here. All right, so they got the year to date here, money weighted total return, 8% down. So based on their calculation, year to date, my year to date is 8% down. Current month alone, I'm down 12%. And then they have your monthly returns over here, but my year to date is 8% down. But personally, the way I like to calculate it is with this over here, my opening balance for the year. So this is year to date, my opening balance for the year. So what I started off with, my contributions for the year minus my withdrawals for the year. This is my change in balance, and this is my closing balance. So basically, I would calculate it by taking this number here and dividing it by the sum of this over here. So that my closing balance divided by my opening balance plus my deposit minus my withdrawals. So here, let me do it in front of you. All right, so the way I would do it is, so take 5546 divided by open brackets 3190 plus 3275 minus 499 close bracket, enter. So I'm at 92%. So my closing balance represents 92% or 93% of my opening balance plus my contributions. So basically I'm down 7% for the year. That's how I would see it. I lost 7% of my money this year. My money being my opening balance, whatever I had from last year, plus whatever I added or removed throughout the year. So for my TFSA, I would say I lost I'm down 7% since January 2018. But obviously, if we look at January of 2019, it's going to be a different value because it fluctuates so much. Even if we look at November, I'm gonna be up. November 2018, I'm probably up. But because I had a 12% drop in December alone, that's why my total yearly return is down 7%. So now if you look at my RSP account, I'm go to 2018, December, monthly, download. So yeah, same thing. My last month balance was 20,210. Current month balance is 18,400. So from November to December, I had a big drop. I'm pretty sure everyone had a big drop. So let's go see the return. All right, so based on their chart over here, I've got a yearly return of negative 18%. So I lost 18% for the year, 9% coming alone from December. And then if we go calculate it here, the way I prefer to calculate it is by looking at the closing balance versus my opening balance plus all my contributions. So my closing balance is 18,427 divided by my opening balance of 492 plus my contributions of 19,414. Close the bracket, enter. So I'm at 92.5%. So I ended up with 92.5% of my opening balance plus my contributions for the year. So I would say I'm down 7.5% for the year. So I think, so RSP was what, down 7 or 8%? So yeah, so TFSA was down 7% and RSP down 7.5%. Now let's look at the margin account. I'm afraid to look at. Well, actually this I only started in November. So if we look at December, so really it doesn't really count because it's only 2 months, but let's see what it gives us. Yeah, there's not much movement. So last month was 97.40, current month is 95.71. So my year to date, which sadly only starts in November, I'm down 28% according to this over here, investment return. But according to this here, looks pretty bad as well. So basically I'm just going to divide 95.71 divided by 11,703. So 95.71 is what I ended up with, divided by my opening balance is 0 for the year because I only started in November, and my deposits are 11,703. So divided by 1103. So yeah, I'm down 19% on my margin account. So of course, this includes all capital gains, dividends, covered calls that I sold, because this is the change in balance. So at the end of the day, at the end of the month, my balance is 9,571, but I started off with 11,703. So I'm down 19% in my margin account in 2018. But obviously, because December was so strong, it had a big effect. But if we look at November alone for the margin account, for example, so my year to date, according to Questrade here, is 24%. So I'm up 24%. And if we calculate it the way I like to calculate it, is closing balance divided by opening plus any changes. So I would take the 97.40 divided by the 87.28. So I was up 11% in November in my margin account. But then December came and wiped out everything and even made me drop 18%. If we look at my other accounts in November as well, just to see how crazy December was. So my TFSA, go to November. So my year to date, according to Questrade, is 7.7%. And if we go to the way I like to calculate it, is 63.58 being my closing balance for the year, which is end of November, divided by my opening balance of 31.90 plus my contributions of 32.75 minus a withdrawal of 4.99. So I would be up 6.5%. So they said how much? They said 7.7. I calculated 6.5%. So my year to date from January 2018 to November 2018, I was up 6.5% in my TFSA, up 11% in my margin account. And then let's look at the RSP account. So the reason I'm looking at November is just because I know December was crazy. And that's why that's one of the reasons why my 12-month period, my 2018 period is really low or negative, is because of December. All right, so my year to date, so from January 2018 to November 2018, according to Questrade, is 4.5% in my RSP account. But then if I calculate it the way I like to calculate it, it is, so my closing balance of 20,210 divided by my opening balance of 492 plus my contributions of 19,414, close brackets. So I'm up 1.5%. So from January to November in all my Questrade accounts, I'm positive, not much, but positive, from 1% to 7%. But from January to December, so the full year of 2018, I'm in the negatives. But of course, I'm not too worried because the type of investments that I buy obviously can fluctuate a lot. So a 1 month performance does not really dictate the overall portfolio. All right, so now I'm going to go look at my Investor's Edge account, although I know it's even worse than my Questrade account. So let's just look at it. What matters to me at the end is that my portfolio is growing and that I am in control of my portfolio. So even though I could give my money for someone else to manage and probably generate a better or higher return, I like to be in control of my money and just to be in control of my investment decisions and returns. I enjoy this process. And I mean, in 2017, I made a 14% return. So I mean, not every year is going to be so negative. I mean, as long as I'm aware of my trades, I don't think they're all bad trades. I've only had probably GE that I bought way too high at 17, Kraft Heinz as well that I bought at 75, CVE also that I bought at 15, and HBC that I bought at 13. I think these are my four worst trades, but everything else is, if I had to do it all over again, I would. All right, so in Investor's Edge, we go under e-documents here, and then all right, so RESP December. Let's look at December. Not too sure how this one works here. Let's just look if they have a number for us that they calculate. They probably do. So my average annual individual rate of return is negative 16% for this year. So they calculated for me. Thank you. Okay, they have the same thing here. So I'm going to try to calculate it this way because I prefer that way. So 6322 divided by open brackets 3045 plus 6506 minus 2500 close brackets 89%. So yeah, so I'm down, I would say I'm down 11% in my Investor's Edge account, in my RESP account, because I started off with 3,045. I deposited 6,500, withdrew 2,500, but I ended up with, for the year, I ended up with 6,322. So that means that, in my opinion, I'm down 11%. And the way they calculated is I'm down 16%. Regardless, they're both terrible returns. But if we go back and look at what I have in my Investor's Edge account or in my RESP account, let's see where I went wrong. So I got AltaGas. I think I bought at 14 point something. So I don't think that was a bad trade. I mean, it pays dividends and my purchase price is still lower than the current market price. So I don't think that's an issue. So I'm down 5% on AltaGas. I bought it, I guess at 14.75 or something. I don't remember. Got Bank of Nova Scotia that I bought at $78. So I'm down close to 7%. But I mean, buying a Canadian bank is not a bad trade. I mean, it pays dividends. You cannot always buy it at the lowest point possible, and even 78 is not so bad. Or actually I bought it at 76. Even 76 is not so bad. I mean, it was trading at 84 and it's just going to continue to go higher. I bought some more at 71, but in my Questrade account. So yeah, so I don't think these two were bad trades. Barclays I bought at $9. I think it's trading at $8 right now, so also not so bad. Pays dividends as well. I'm down 8% on Barclays. I got Dollarama that probably bought a little bit too high. I bought at $40. It went all the way down to 31, but closing at 34. I'm down 16%. But Dollarama was trading at 52 at some point, or 56 even. Got Enbridge that I bought at an average price of 48, closing at 45.90. I'm down 5%, but it pays 7% dividends per year. So most of them is just timing, not buying at the best price, but most of them pay dividends. Actually, they all pay dividends. So it's really just a timing issue, but I don't think they are bad trades or bad stocks. Just a matter of time. They'll recover, go back up, and I'll be in a positive position. But yeah, I don't think I made any bad trades. Maybe Dollarama I bought a little bit too high. And Enbridge as well, I bought it at 48, but it went all the way down to 37. But right now it's at 45.90, but this is a stock that's easily over $60. So yeah, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. All right, so back to e-documents. Let's look at the TFSA, which has the GE and Kraft Heinz, so it's going to be really bad. So December 2018. So let's go straight to the bottom. I have a feeling it's going to be like a negative 20 something percent. So where is it? Oh, it's also negative 16. So same return as the RESP. Yeah, so negative 16 as well for the TFSA. Pretty bad. All right, let's look at the way I like to calculate it. So 14,178 divided by opening balance of 12,347 plus additions of 7,867 minus withdrawals of 3,676, 85%. So I'm down about 15%. So yeah, it's close to the 16% that they calculated. So from January to December 2018, I'm down in all my accounts from, I think, from negative 6% to negative 16% or negative 15%. But from January to November, Questrade alone, I'm up maybe from 1 to 7% per account. Still all terrible numbers, but not too worried because obviously 2018 was a bad year and December alone was terrible. And these numbers could easily reverse in a month, so not too worried. It's really just timing. Now let's see if I could have done something different. Let's try to justify the terrible returns. So if in my TFSA, of course, Cenovus Energy was a bad trade. Hudson's Bay was a bad trade. Buying them way too high. But Enbridge and Dividend 15 Split Corp 2 I don't think is so bad. Although I'm down 26% on Dividend 15 Split Corp 2. And Enbridge, yeah, I'm only down 1%. But Hudson's Bay, I'm down 32%. But Enbridge pays good dividends. And the reason I bought DF.TO is because eventually when they start paying dividends, it's going to be at a really high return. So this is a long-term play that I have to wait. And on the US side, of course, General Electric, Kraft Heinz are my two biggest losers, 30% and 38% respectively. But New York Mortgage Trust, I'm at par and I get dividends for it, 13% per year. And Orange, it was trading above 16.50 at some point, but right now it's at 15.75. So I'm also at par and I get dividends for it. So really 4 bad trades, and they're all in my Investor's Edge account, and that would probably explain that's the only thing that I do regret. But every other trade I don't regret, so it's just a matter of time. All right, so on that note, if you have any questions, leave in the comments below. If you want to share your yearly return for 2018, just like I did, gladly leave them in the comments below. If you can open an account with Questrade to trade on the stock market, use my referral code in the description below the video to get between $25 and $250 back, depending on your deposit. Also check out the other referral links in the description below the video to help support the channel. Thanks for watching.